What's up guys, Learning with Rich here. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to add and modify walls in our floor plan. So, couple of videos ago, I have shown you the basic way of creating wall and editing the temporary dimensions. This time around, so let us try to explore more how to modify and add walls to our project. Again, I'll be using here the wall tool. So I'm gonna select that. And then from the draw panel, I'm gonna use your rectangular or rectangle tool shape for that. So I'm going to create wall to this area. So from the properties, I'm gonna change this to 150 mm generic. And then for the location line, I'll be using core face exterior. And then the height, I'll just use the default height here. The height is unconnected with a height of 8,000. So that's it. So that's the setting of the wall. So basic setting. So I'm going to click on the upper left corner of that line up to this area here. Click that and then modify. And then that's it. Okay, so now from the view tab, I'm going to select here tiled views, or I can also type WT. But before that, let me just change the view to default 3D. So click that, and then I'll go back again to ground floor, and then I'll use here tiled views. Okay, so I can see the floor plan as well as my 3D view. So here on my 3D view, I'll change the visual style from the view control bar. I'm gonna change that to shaded view. Okay, now going back here on my floor plan view, I'm going to create another type of wall. So this time around, I'll be using here foundation wall. Okay, so foundation wall. So let me just select this one. So foundation dash 300 mm. So when creating foundation wall, the top of the wall is set to the current level by default. Okay, so as you can see here, our top layer for our wall is set to ground floor, and then it will go down up to top of footing. So make sure if you're going to select a level here, make sure that is lower than the ground floor, because we are talking about here depth. So as you can see, our foundation wall here is already automatically set to depth. So you cannot change this one because that's how the foundation wall works. Okay, so it will gonna be from your current level going down to the lower level. That's why this one is set already to top of footing. So if you are going to change this to a higher level than ground floor, let's say for example main floor, there will gonna be an error. Okay, so there's an error. So the top of the wall is lower than the base of the wall. Okay, so that's the error. So you need to cancel that, and then it will reset automatically to a level that is lower than ground floor, because we're talking about foundation wall. So that's the setting of the foundation wall. Okay, so now the setting here is from the top of footing up to the ground floor level. Okay, and then after that, so we are now going to create our foundation wall. So let me use again rectangle here, and then I'm going to pick from this point here. Okay, so you can't see the foundation wall that you are creating at the moment because of the view range, but don't worry, we're going to change that. So I'm gonna pick the second point here, but check out the 3D view. There you go. So as you can see in this view here, there's a warning that pops up a while ago saying that you can't see the foundation wall currently in your view because of the view range. Okay, so if you want to modify the view range, so you can just go to the properties, and then let's look for the view range. Let's edit this one. Okay, and then after that, we are going to modify the bottom. Okay, so let's try to modify the bottom here. So you can expand the show here so you can have an idea on what is the view range. So what we are going to adjust is our primary range bottom. So as you can see, This is the primary range bottom. So I'm going to modify that because currently it's only set to the ground floor, 0. Okay, the offset is 0, so it's only on the ground floor level. So I'm going to change this to negative value. So like for example, minus, let's say 100. So what will happen is this view range, the bottom, the range, the primary range bottom will go down minus 100. So we'll be able to see the foundation wall. So let me apply this. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. So when you change this one, so make sure your view depth here is also lower than your bottom here. So it can be the same. So let me try to type minus 100 as well for the view depth. So this is the view depth here. The 7. That's the view depth, that one. So we need to adjust that one. So make sure the view depth is the same or lower than the bottom. Okay, so let's apply this. There you go. And then select here, okay. So as you can see, there's now our foundation wall. See, that's the foundation wall. And then there's our basic wall. So if I click this one, as you can see, it highlights now the foundation wall because we already adjust the view range. Okay, so now I'm gonna open the top of footing level. So here on the top of footing level, I'll be able to see here my foundation wall, right? Because I am now on the top of footing level, so this is now my foundation wall. So as you can see, whenever I select that, it highlights here in the 3D view. So now I'm going to create a new type of wall. Okay, so I'm going to select the wall here, and then from the basic wall foundation 300 mm concrete, I'll be using this wall to create a new wall type. Okay, so basically we are going to create a new wall type from an existing wall type. So to do that, just edit type, click that one, and then after that, we are going to duplicate this type here. So you click duplicate and then change the name. So let's say I'll call this footing, and then I'll select here okay. All right, and then after that, we are going to modify the wall or the type of this footing that we are trying to create. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to select here the structure. Okay, we're going to edit that. Okay, so as you can see here, the thickness of our structure here is 300 mm. So I'm gonna click that and then change this to 600. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to select here okay. All right, so that's my footing. It has 600 width. Okay, and then I'm going to select here okay. Now, again, it is set to depth because we are creating a footing or foundation. So I'm gonna modify this one. Instead of the default is minus, or the default is 1200, I'm gonna change this to 450. Okay, so 450. You can change the value here of your depth if unconnected is selected. Okay, so I'm gonna change that to 450, and then let me change the location line here to wall center line. So select that one, and then using the rectangle tool, okay, I am going to click this point here. Again, we can't see the wall because we are creating a wall lower than our current level, which is top of footing. But don't worry, we're going to modify the view range of that. So I'm going to click here for my second point. And there you go. So it's now created here. Again, there's the warnings that none of the created elements are visible in our floor plan here. So we are just going to modify the view range again. So I'm going to select modify here. And then let me modify the view range here. Okay, so let's just go back again to view range, and what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna change the view depth. So instead of associated level, which is top of footing, I'll just change that to unlimited. Okay, and then I'll just select here okay. There you go. So it's now up here. So this is now our footing, and then this is now our foundation. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a section. So let's create a section. So let's say I'll create a section somewhere here. I'm going to cut a section here. So the section tool is this one. So you can select the section, and then you just need to click 2 points. Okay, so let's say from this point up to this point here, and then there's now our section. So you can flip that by clicking that arrow. Okay, and then you can also adjust that if you want, like that. Okay, all right, and then after that you can open now the section. So by the way, this section that you have created is also created here on the project browser. If you expand that, so that's the section. So you can double click that, or you can double click this head here of your section. Okay, so if you do not know what is the name of this section, so just click that, and then from the properties here, you can now see here the view name. That is your section 1, which is this one. Okay, so let's open up our section, and there you go. So you will now see here that the 3 types of walls are aligned here vertically, right? So this is our normal wall. This is our generic wall of 150, and then after that we created our foundation wall, and then using the foundation wall we create a new wall type of footing, which is this one. Now the next thing that I'm gonna do is, let me just go back again to ground floor and maximize the view. So let's go to the view, and then I'm going to maximize that one. Okay, so here I'm going to modify an existing wall. Okay, so let's modify an existing wall. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, let me just change the view range here. Let me select edit. So I'm just gonna make this 0 again. I'm just going to put it back to 0 because I do not want to see the foundation wall on my ground floor. So I'll just select here okay. There you go. So I'm going to select this wall here. Okay, and then after that, from the properties, I'm going to change the base constraint. So the base constraint here currently is ground floor. So let's say I want to change that one. So I'm gonna click the drop down arrow here. I'm going to raise that up to main floor level. So I select your main floor and then enter. So as you can see, it now disappears because it's already moved up. Okay, so it's now no longer displayed in our ground floor plan. So that's all right. So our wall is still there. Again, it's just because of the view range. But if you're going to change the 3D here, so there's now our wall, right? We raised the bottom part, the base constraint, up to main floor. But that's okay. So let me just go back again to ground floor. So I'm going to edit this wall here. So let me go to modify. Let's try to use the split tool. It's like break in AutoCAD. So I'm going to select that. And then I'm going to move my pointer here until I see the temporary dimension. So there's the temporary dimension, right? So I'm going to move that until I see 3000. So once I see 3000, I'm going to click. Okay, it's now split. So I'm going to do that also to the other side here. So I'm going to make 3000. There you go. And then after that, I'm going to select here, modify. Now I'm going to select this wall here that we have split, and then I'm going to hold control to select the other wall here, to select them both. And then after that, we are going to change the property again. So instead of ground floor for the base constraint, I'm going to raise that one. So I'm going to change that to main floor. There you go. Right, and then I'll just select modify. So again, it's no longer displayed in our current view. But if I'm going to go to the 3D view, and that's now our wall there. Okay, so here in my 3D view, I'm going to select this wall here. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to change the top constraint. So my top constraint here is only ground floor. Okay, so I want this wall to be connected to the bottom of this wall. So that's why from the top constraint, I'm going to change that to main floor as well. So this time I'm changing the top constraint to main floor. There you go. So it's now connected. Okay, and then you see this side here and then this side here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, and then another option to modify that is you can check out the modify wall here. So there's an option here like wall opening, attach top base, and detach top base. So this time I'm going to select attach top or base. So I'm going to click this, and then I'm going to select this one to attach the wall that I have selected to this wall here. So I'm going to click that, and it's now connected. And then I'm going to click outside. So same with this one here. So I'm going to select this wall, and then I'm going to select attach top base, and then I'm going to select this wall. And there you go. Okay, so now the next thing that I'll be doing is let's add some interior walls. So let me just go back again to my ground floor, and then let me select the wall tool. Okay, so this time I'm gonna use interior wall or interior partition. Okay, so I'll be using this one. So interior 123 mm partition 1 hour. So I'm gonna select this one. Okay, and then as you can see here, you can specify the height of your partition wall. You can specify here what level. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is. So the height is main floor. So from my ground floor up to the main floor, that will gonna be the height of my wall. And then I'll just make sure that the chain here is checked. Or maybe I'll just uncheck this one, so I can just create one wall, not a continuous wall. Okay, and then using the line tool, I'm gonna make sure that the location line here is wall center line, and that's it. All right, so we are now ready to create our wall. So I'm gonna click here from this point up to this point here. There you go. So that's now my wall. And then I'm going to select here modify. Okay, so if you click that, again you can see here your temporary dimension. Okay, so that's the temporary dimension. So if you want to change this, let's say for example from that line up to here you want 5,000, so you can just click that and then you can type 5,000. Okay, simple as that. So let's say 6,000. There you go. Okay, and then let's create another wall. So I'm gonna select this, right click, create similar, and then I'm gonna create here. So I'm gonna click 1, 2. All right. Okay, and then I'll select here modify. Now I'm gonna select this wall here, and then I'm gonna change this. So let's say I want that to be 3,200, enter. Okay, then I'm gonna add again another wall. So select this, create similar. So I'm going to create a line here up to here. Okay, so let's say I want that to be 1,800. That's the one, and then select your modify, terminate. All right. And then after that, let me just create another wall. So let's click this, right click, create similar. So here, I want another wall. Click there. One. So let me add another wall here. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So you can always modify that one. Right, so let's say for example this wall here, so I'm gonna select that. So I want this to be like, for example, 4,300. Enter. Okay, so for this one, I want 3,400. Enter. And then this one is, let's select this one, 3,400. Enter. Okay, and then this one, select. So let's say this one will gonna be 5,400. That's it. So basically, that's how you use the temporary dimension to change your to change the distance of your wall. Okay, so let us try to add more walls here. So let me select this one, right click, create similar. So I'm gonna create wall here, that one. Let me create another one here. So let me create another one here, and then another wall here, and then this one here. Okay, so basically that's how you create your walls. So let's say for example you want to create an opening here, this area here, you want to create an opening. So you can use the split tool. You can go to modify, and then you can use the split element here. So you can click that, and then you can use this option here, delete inner segment. You can click that. So every time you click 2 points, 1, 2, it will delete the inner segment and it will create an opening. Okay, so let's say for example you just want an opening, you don't want to put a door, just an opening, so you can use a split element. Okay, so that's it for this one, and I'll just select here modify. Again, to further modify the distances of your wall, you can always select that, and then you can always change the distance or the temporary dimension of your walls. So basically that's how the wall works, and also that's how you create a new type of wall. So let's say you want to create a new type of interior wall, so you can always select that one. You can use this type, and then you can select your edit type. So let's say I'm gonna duplicate this. Make sure you always duplicate so that you do not override the original type of wall. So you can duplicate that, and then you can specify here. So let's say this will gonna be my interior plumbing chase type of wall. So I'm going to select here OK. Right, and then you can again go to the structure to modify it. So you can select this. Okay, so as you can see, my interior plumbing chase type of wall, I have here 3 layers. So I have finish 2, 5, structure 1, and finish 2, 5. Okay, you can always change the layer here. So let's say this one, you can click that. So let's say that will gonna be 90 mm, and then for the main structure, this will gonna be 120, and then the finish, this will gonna be 90. And if you are going to select preview here, so that's the preview of my wall here. So that's the floor plan view. So if I click this one here, let me change this to section. There you go. So there's the 90, and then there's the 120, and then there's the 90 here. So this is the section view, and then this is how it looks like in floor plan view. So let's select here OK, then let's select OK. So you now have a new type of wall here. Okay, so that's how you create your uh, interior wall, new type of interior wall. And also a while ago I have shown you how to create a new type of your foundation wall, right? This one here. Okay, so that's it for this simple exercise on exploring our wall, creating our wall. So hopefully you learned something from this video. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestion, you can put it on the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day.